Yo, what is really good, my dudes? Today is Monday, January 7th, 2019. We got another RuneScape update for y'all. Today we see the release of the mining and smithing rework finally. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. Let's go.
Pickaxes the illest. What you talking about, Willis?
Alright guys, since I have covered the mining and smithing rework pretty extensively on the channel, I'm not going to go into major detail about it, but I'll give you a quick rundown of exactly what has been changed so you can know going forward. First and foremost, the levels have been crunched down in terms of the mining and smithing levels to make and gather materials to match up with the level 2 wield and wear those associated armors and weapons. So you'll notice that rune is brought all the way down to 50 mining and smithing, and new ores for 60, 70, 80, and 90 have been added into the game, with new ores scattered around the game world. This does mean that there are new armor and weapon sets for those tiers as well. For mining specifically, you'll notice that resources will no longer deplete. You can continue mining a single rock indefinitely, so there is no competition. In terms of smithing, there have been several changes. All of your ores and bars can now be stored at a furnace, saving up a lot of bank space. The smithing process has been slowed down pretty significantly, so you won't be making as much of your materials or weapons, whatever the case may be, as you were previously. And there is a new heat mechanic that if you keep your items at optimal heat, you'll be able to progress and create weapons far faster than if you were just AFK, although AFKing is a possibility if you want to choose that playstyle. You'll also notice that armors of the higher tiers can be upgraded to +1, +2, all the way up to +5 versions based on the tier of that particular class of ore. When you reach 99 smithing, you'll gain the ability to create new Masterwork Armor. This is a tier 90 power armor, which is pretty much identical to Malevolent. However, you can further upgrade this armor to a tier 92 armor by breaking down Torva and Malevolent armor that you get from PVM. Now this armor will have tier 92 stats and has a new set effect that makes it easier or safer against difficult and hard-hitting bosses. Both Masterwork and Trim Masterwork are fully tradable, as well as everything else you can make in the rework, but there is one untradable benefit that smiths can get, and that is armor spikes. These will equip in your ammo slot and damage anything that hits you in melee, as long as you're wearing melee armor. Quickly touching on mining once again, there are new pickaxes in the game for each type of ore. None of the ones that you can smith, for example, the new Necronium or the new Elder Rune pickaxes, can be augmentable. The only ones that can will be your Dragon Pickaxe, Crystal Pickaxe, the Incamdo Pickaxe, and the new Pickaxe of Earth and Song, which is made by combining both a Crystal Pickaxe and Incamdo Pickaxe with a Blast Fusion Hammer. That will be your best pickaxe in the game, identical in stats to the best one you can smith with Elder Rune, but has the added benefit of being augmentable. I briefly want to touch on some other changes that have been added. With this, many drop tables have been reworked, and you'll no longer find things like ores, bars, and smithable items on drop tables. Instead, you'll get this new salvage item that can be disassembled or high-alked for components or GP. The spring cleaner itself has also had some changes that reflect these new drop tables. It can be used to disassemble for components the new salvage items, or high-alk them, should you choose to do so. On top of this, a whole plethora of other things have been changed to accommodate the changes in the two skills, such as your level 99 skill cape perks for those skills, the Quarry Master Aura, and many more. So that is the gist of your mining and smithing rework. I actually want to shift gears now and talk about some of the patch notes that came out with today's update. So without any further ado, let's jump right into that. Let's go. They've added some safety checks to the cutscene script in Violet is Blue. Players should no longer be disconnected when attempting to complete the A Bit Too Familiar achievement. You can now use the Uncharted Isles resources should you decide to visit an Uncharted Isle after visiting a friend's island. Fixed an issue which disconnected the player from the game when trying to summon a pet which is no longer owned. The temporary Christmas event content has now been removed. A limit of how many urns could be teleported away at once was causing players that attempted to teleport more than this amount to disconnect. This has now been been resolved. Mithril bars will no longer give the nothing interesting happens message when using enchanted notepaper on them. Players with an expired 6-month Summer Special 2018 membership once again have access to the 4th Winter Rewards chest at the Grand Exchange. The examine text for the Firefly jar in Violet is Blue has been changed to be less confusing. The holiday portal now directs you to the correct location. The bonfire in the Yeti town will now work when interacting with it from the east side. The snow imp can now be summoned from the ice amulet in the Land of Snow Yeti town. The snowman building rest animation now correctly showed the snowman in the preview screen within the customization interface. Saren's spirits will now be visible when sharing a tile with other actors. The legacy map icons toggle will no longer be reverted on logout. And finally, dying in a PvP scenario with a small rune pouch should no longer cause the dead player to disconnect. And that is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below if you want to go ahead and check it out for yourself. Head on over there to do so. With that, I'm going to wrap up the video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you want to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, then hit that subscribe button. Anyways, I appreciate you watching. I am out. Peace.